The year 1994 was a special one for gamers, because in this year some of the finest 16-bit games in history were released. It's no question that Super Metroid is one of them, which then should be the last adventure for the intergalactic bounty hunter Samus Aran for quite some time. This game can be seen as one of the examples why technological development in media doesn't only come with good things. Already the intro of the game gives you a hint why it really is a special one.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
My personal opinion is that you cannot have some proper atmosphere with anything less than 16 bits. That is the reason why I don't have tests for the NES and Game Boy games of the Metroid series. I was playing them a little while and got bored like hell because of the minimalistic graphics and the nerve-shattering sounds. Just my opinion, no general fact, cause I also know there are many fans of these old games. I also got something to say on the technical side of this video. You know, just as many other games, this one is using flickering effects. Well, the game usually runs with 60 frames, but the coding of the video brings out 30 frames, so since every second frame is missing, there won't be any flickering. You know, when flickering, an object is visible in one frame, invisible in the next, visible again in the next frame, and so on. So some things in this video might look a little weird when normally flickering. They will either be completely visible or entirely invisible. You'll especially recognize this when Samus uses an elevator. Alright, all just for your information, otherwise I believe there would be comments like, why is that thing disappearing all the time? A little sad thing anyway, because the Super Nintendo console is capable of nice color transparency effects, while this game also includes quite some of them. Theoretically, Super Metroid is going on with a serious story, as you saw in the intro. But as far as I have played the NES Metroid game, it looked like the same game to me, just in 8 bits. But well, that's 6 of one and half a dozen of another. The game's story is pretty simple when you take a look. As the intro tells, Samus wiped out the Metroid plague on the planet SR388. But a last remaining and non-aggressive Metroid larva was collected by the heroine and brought to the Ceres research station in the orbit of planet Cebes. Not long after she left the station again, the ship catches a distress signal. Ceres station is under attack! Immediately, she flies back to the station to do some research on her own, and faces Ridley, some sort of genetically mutated dragon monster. After a short fight, Ridley leaves the station, having the Metroid larva in his claws. Being pressed ahead by Ceres' self-destruct sequence, Samus follows the monster down to the planet Cebes, where now the actual adventure begins. So actually there is the single target in the entire game to find Ridley and the little Metroid. You will not have much of time on the planet's surface. Mostly you're tramping through deep catacombs and fascinating worlds under the ground. There are many areas to explore, from normal underground levels over lava-fluted dungeons to underwater worlds. There is much to take a look at. Good thing that you're having a very well arranged map always with you, which helps you orientating yourself in the huge areas of the planet. In every one of these areas, there is a map terminal somewhere to find, which loads the full map data of the region into your data bag, while the pink squares show the places where you've already been and the blue ones show unexplored points. As long as you haven't found the corresponding map terminal, only the already visited areas do appear in your data bag. But even when you have already downloaded the map data, doesn't mean your map will show every possible way there is. That would be a little too easy if so. Quite a few times you have to discover hidden ways, which makes the flow of the game rather spicy. Apparently the full game time is connected to your mind, since the better you can keep in mind why a particular area can't be visited yet, the more seldom you'll end up running to this place again and again when you're in the process of finding out where the hell to go on. The level design is first juice. You normally won't mix up any areas with other ones. The level structuring is peerless. Again and again you need to master challenging jumping passages and work with many different kinds of blocks, while most of them can only be wiped out with a particular weapon or ability. There we have the story with the memory again, cause also when you forget about these blocks you'll quite often end up staying in front of such a block and thinking, oh shit, that was why I can't go on here. Some paths also need further equipment of Samus' suit. That is when you have to jump far up, grab certain blocks, or get through water levels, for example. While you're crossing the levels, sure thing you have to mess with a load of enemies. While you can kill most of them when walking by, there are some which are quite harder to beat. While they are still no match for the end bosses, which are basically protecting either important new equipment or a new path in the game. These bosses then are not playing kids games, and you have to come up with everything you got to live longer than they do. So you should always watch out for the important and pretty well hidden energy tanks, and always check Samus' battery when standing in front of the monster at the boss door. You really have to admit that Nintendo put much of effort into the graphics and sound of this game. The graphics just fit, and even though everything is built up in blocks, it doesn't bother in this game. Still looking great. All of the levels and backgrounds are designed pretty different and deliver a maximum of atmosphere, which you can get with a 16-bits console. Also, the bosses are looking damn awesome and unique. An important element of the atmosphere is of course the very special sound of the game. The BGM of the levels is high grade and fits the environment, and doesn't start going on your nerves. The sound effects are pretty sweet too, especially Samus' weapon brings down the obligatory 2D shooter feeling with its sounds. Around 90% of the game's sound is low fidelity, which makes it sound a little weird, but maybe that's one element which makes the entire sound be so unique. gameplay is a mix of jump and run and adventure elements, but pretty much one of a kind. You don't have this way of fighting through the levels in other games, and you're not easily gonna get enough. The typical I don't fancy going on moment doesn't exist here, unless you can handle a controller and you already are at the 5th try of beating down an end boss. You either have a level of skills, or if not, you will get it by playing this game, because the controls are great stuff but nothing for dumb shits. Especially the jumping passages and wall jumps require some skills in your fingers. A sweet element is that you can choose the button actions in the options menu, so there is one excuse less why someone wouldn't get the game done. Super Metroid looks damn awesome, has a grade A sound and is a damn lot of fun over the whole game time. With its qualities, it easily made it into the top 10 of all 16-bit games of all time, and so it gets full points. That explains what I said at the beginning. Because every tiny modern gadget is capable of 3D graphics, the good old 2D games are suffering from extinction. The high-level industry won't give us new ones, and hobby developments won't ever have such a quality, I guess. Oh well. At least there's quite a number of 2D games existing in this world already. And even only the good material of these will enable you to fill your free time with endless hours of great entertainment. And still, in 20 years, retro gamers will fall into excitement of burning the synapses out of Mother Brain's head. That is gonna do it. Okay. And now, if you will excuse me, I gotta play on. Mommy is waiting for me.